David Allen's Getting Things Done is widely considered as a seminal work in personal productivity. The book provides a comprehensive framework for managing tasks, responsibilities, and goals in both personal and professional life. GTD is fundamentally about developing a mind like water, a condition of peaceful readiness, by mastering the art of organizing one's life in such a way that allows for focused attention, strategic thought, and stress-free action. The core concept of getting things done is that the human brain is great at creating ideas, but terrible at storing and retrieving them reliably under duress. Allen contends that cerebral overload is the enemy of productivity, and that people achieve clarity, control, and efficiency by externalizing their commitments into a trusted framework. His approach emphasizes the need of capturing everything that grabs our attention, clarifying what each item implies and requires, organizing information into actionable categories, evaluating on a frequent basis, and then engaging with tasks in a context-sensitive manner. Several major topics flow through the book. The power of capture. Allen proposes that anything consuming mental space, whether a large endeavor or a tiny errand, should be recorded in a trustworthy external system. This increases cognitive bandwidth and minimizes the mental stress associated with open loops. Clarifying next actions. Rather than just building to-do lists, Allen concentrates on determining the exact next physical activity needed to move a project ahead. This actionable clarity is what turns ideas into results. Creating reliable systems. The GTD technique promotes the use of lists, calendars, and reference materials that are routinely updated and reviewed. These systems are individualized, but they must be reliable and comprehensive to guarantee that nothing falls through the cracks. Weekly review and reflection. Allen emphasizes the need of conducting regular reviews to keep commitments current and consistent with shifting priorities. The weekly review is a key technique that ensures the GTD system's integrity. Context and flexibility. One distinguishing element of the GTD technique is the organization of tasks by context, such as calls, a computer, or errands, allowing users to be productive based on their location, tools, energy, and available time. Stress-free productivity. Allen's ultimate goal is to enable people to execute at a high level without experiencing mental tiredness. He argues that by implementing an organized external framework, we might reduce anxiety produced by disorder and ambiguity. Getting things done is more than a time management guide. It is a philosophy of action and focus. It gives you the tools you need to do the correct things with clarity and focus, rather than just doing more. As we go through the book description, we'll look at how each component of the GTD approach leads to the creation of a system that promotes creative thought, decisive action, and long-term peace of mind. Throughout the remaining portions of this synopsis, I will expand on the significant themes presented by the author throughout the book. 1. When your daily life spirals out of control, it is nearly impossible to think strategically or prepare successfully. When you're feeling overwhelmed by how much you have to accomplish, and who is it? It's difficult to focus on making sure your life and career are headed in the right path. Prioritizing daily chores is crucial before focusing on long-term planning. Here's a high-level overview of GTD in a nutshell. Collect attention-grabbing items, analyze their meaning and action alternatives, and organize the results for decision-making. GTD has a bottom-up approach to productivity. The idea is to feel comfortable and in control of your current tasks, allowing you to focus on more important matters. In the second large idea of this Getting Things Done book description, we'll discuss the importance of defining your large goals and what they look like once completed. 2. Define what done looks like. Having a clear action outline prevents procrastination due to imagined complexity. The majority of items on people's to-do lists are amorphous blobs of undoability, commitments that lack a clear concept of what done looks like. That's a significant problem, since your brain is naturally geared to assist you in figuring out how to achieve things, but only if you know what the endpoint looks like. Everything you're working on should have a clear endpoint, where you know you're finished. If you don't know what that point looks like, you'll struggle to make any progress at all. Actionable insights. When you're having problems moving forward, define what you mean by done. 3. Mental work is divided into 5 phases: collect, process, organize, do, and review. There is no reason ever to have the same thought twice, unless you like having that thought. Not all work is the same. There are 5 distinct phases to effective work. Collecting inputs, such as resources, knowledge, and tasks, can make it easier to employ them all at once. Processing is the act of assessing your inputs and determining what you can accomplish with the resources you have available. This is where you begin organizing things based on what you intend to do next. Tasks, projects, future plans, and reference information. Organizing involves storing processing findings in a trusted system to reduce the need for memory recall. Tasks are added to your to-do list. Projects are added to a project list. Future plans are entered into a tracking system, and reference information is stored in a readily accessible file or database. Doing refers to doing tasks within your current capabilities. Reviewing involves analyzing work results, adjusting strategies, and upgrading processes to get better outcomes. Keep the phases carefully separated, and you'll get a lot more done. 4. Take everything out of your head. Feelings of overwhelm, worry, and anxiety are symptoms of mental overload. There is a limit to how much unresolved stuff the mind can store. Many people attempt to keep track of all they need to do in their heads, which is a huge error. Our brains are designed for rapid decision-making, not storage. Trying to juggle too many things in your thoughts at once is a big cause of stress when there's a lot going on. We're using the wrong tool for the task. To become more productive, take a few minutes to write down your thoughts and ideas. You can write or draw whatever works best for you, as long as you can see the results. Once the information is out of your head, deciding what to do with it becomes much easier. Even 10 minutes of externalization can make you feel less anxious about your workload. Of course, it's preferable not to be freaked out in the first place, so make it simple to write down your thoughts. Consider carrying a wallet with enough capacity for 3x5 index cards and a pen. This way, anytime an idea strikes you, you may easily capture it, even if you don't have your notebook or computer with you. Reducing friction when capturing ideas leads to increased capture rates. Actionable insights. Set aside time to get everything out of your thoughts and on paper. Take as long as you need. After completing the task, you'll feel relieved to be free of mental baggage. 5. Projects and tasks are not the same thing. Track them separately. The real problem is a lack of clarity and definition about what a project really is and what the associated next action steps required are. One of the most common mistakes people make when it comes to productivity is combining projects and tasks that should be distinct and independent of one another. Most goals cannot be fulfilled in a single sitting, making them projects rather than tasks. A project is any task that requires multiple steps to finish. A task is something that can be completed in a single phase, typically in one session. Because projects are made up of multiple tasks, it is critical to maintain a separate list of projects, as well as a list of tasks within each project. This book summary is considered a project by my team. If we had just written do summary on GTD on our to-do list, we would have been completely overwhelmed because the project was far too large for our publishing team to complete in one sitting. This is why it is classified as a project, something that requires multiple tasks to complete. Our team can do more by breaking down tasks into smaller ones. We begin by reading the book, then write the summary, proofread it, and edit it. Finally, we record and edit the audio summary. Once all of that is done, the summary is packaged for consumption in a variety of formats, including PDF and audio. After all of these activities are completed, the project will be made available for you to read or listen to. 6. Concentrate on the next action needed to move forward. Outcome thinking is one of the most effective means available for making wishes reality. Large projects involve multiple steps and can be overwhelming in their complexity. To manage these projects effectively, avoid focusing on all that has to be done, as this leads to overload. Instead, concentrate on the next physical activity you must take in order to advance the project. This could be researching information, making a phone call, or completing a task of some kind. Whatever it is, it will bring you closer to finishing the job, so don't worry about everything else. Just focus on what you can do right now. 7. Use the 2-minute rule for quick chores. Don't worry about monitoring little things. If you can complete them in less than 2 minutes, simply do it. Writing down everything you have to do wastes more time than it's worth. If you need to send a 30-second reminder email to someone, there's no point in taking 20 seconds to write it down when you can just send it right away. The 2-minute rule focuses on completing tasks rather than exhaustively documenting every detail. 8. Use reference and someday / maybe files for items with no urgent next steps. It makes little sense to keep FYI or long-term dreams in your active daily task tracking system. Reference files are ideal for storing information that you don't need to act on right now. These files may be either physical or electronic. Consider storing critical paperwork in a filing cabinet near your desk, and electronic files and web pages in a folder on your computer or a productivity program like Evernote. Someday / maybe lists are excellent for delaying ideas that you'd like to work on someday, but aren't ready to commit to just yet. We all get ideas or flashes of insight about new things to do or places to go on a regular basis. And if you're like most people, they usually occur when you're working on something completely unrelated to the thought that just came to mind. They rarely necessitate urgent action or forethought. So, what is the best method to deal with these thoughts as they arise unexpectedly? To avoid losing or forgetting important information, keep in a reference file for later use, e.g., weekly review. Later, when you're ready to commit to a new project, the someday / maybe item or idea may become valuable and promoted to an active project. 9. Create a trustworthy strategy for keeping track of your commitments. Your conscious mind should be used as a focusing tool, not a storage place. If you don't have a system to track and organize your obligations, your mind will try to maintain them in working memory, draining your energy for other tasks. Consider your untracked behaviors, commitments, reminders, projects, or goals like a background app on your phone. Each app drains a small amount of battery power, and the more apps you leave open, the faster your battery drains. Your brain ability works in the same way. Creating a productivity system allows you to focus on the task at hand by eliminating superfluous details, such as running background apps. As previously said, this is why externalization works. When you write something down in a place you know you'll be able to retrieve it later, you free up mental resources that can be used more effectively elsewhere. The idea is to organize everything into a trusted system, which reduces clutter and frees up your mind to think more creatively and critically. An excellent productivity system includes the following. Make a list of active chores you plan to do in the next days. Create a list of active tasks, typically no more than 20, that you plan to complete in the next weeks. A calendar contains appointments and commitments for upcoming meetings with others. Consider creating a someday / maybe list of ideas to pursue in the future. Reference files contain important information or documents for future reference. A trustworthy tool for capturing ideas and following steps. That's all you need to include in your own getting things done system. It doesn't matter whatever tools you use as long as you use them and incorporate the aforementioned criteria. Individuals have different preferences for paperless or written approaches. However, most people discover that a combination of the two works best. For example, you could use a notebook for active tasks, an index card for active projects, a computer plus phone calendar, a digital solution like Evernote for your someday / maybe list plus digital reference files, a filing cabinet for your paper reference files, and another digital solution for your capture tool, such as Evernote, or another note-taking or reminders app. 10. Set aside non-negotiable time for a weekly assessment. It's best not to get too caught up in how frequently you should complete a weekly review. Then, just like delaying writing your family because there's too much to catch up on, if you don't go to the review on a regular basis, you'll assume there's too much to catch up on and leave. Anytime, any frequency is preferable to none at all. It might be challenging to assess whether we are achieving our desired objectives in a fast-paced life. That's why it's critical to set aside time each week to do a weekly review. Here are a few items to include in your weekly review. Organize and process any collected items that have not yet been handled. Examine your active tasks and identify those that can be added, delegated, deferred, or deleted. Check your active projects to see if any can be added, delegated, deferred, or deleted. Review your calendar for meetings to add, delegate, defer, or remove. Do you have something to add or promote to an ongoing project? Someday, or maybe. Are there any reference files you require soon? Is there anything you'd like to add or update? Are you making progress towards your goals? Are you making progress? Are any adjustments necessary? Do not skip this review if you wish to reduce your stress levels. Choose one day every week to set aside an hour or so and get it done for your convenience. Here are the 11 steps in the GTD Weekly Review. Get clear. 1. Gather loose documents and resources. 2. Bring into zero. 3. Empty your head. Get current. 4. Review action lists. 5. Review past calendar data. 6. Review the forthcoming calendar. 7. Review the waiting for list. 8. Review the project and bigger outcome listings. 9. Review any relevant checklists. Get creative. 10. Review someday/maybe. 11. Be inventive and gutsy, bringing new and bold ideas to your system. Conclusion. The underlying concept is to put everything out of your thoughts. The final consequence is not just that you are more organized, but you also have less stress because you can function methodically and execute seamlessly. Creating an efficient personal productivity strategy requires time and experimentation. Initially, adopting GTD might be frustrating due to the time it takes to get things under control. Allow yourself a break. GTD consists of multiple little behaviors. Developing habits takes time. Instead of attempting to implement everything at once, focus on strengthening one area until it becomes effortless and habitual before moving on to the next habit. You'll eventually master them all. GTD aims to facilitate effective work, not procrastinate by constantly refining your system. Avoid productivity P0RN and experiment frequently. The most effective techniques are often the simplest. When in doubt, remember that simplicity is key. Therefore, keep the essentials in mind and concentrate on performing the critical few key acts as well as you can. To begin adopting the getting things done approach in your life, take the following basic step. Close any open loops by getting everything out of your head and into some sort of structure. Once you've done that, you'll know what to decide on, delegate, or entirely eliminate.